just
Yep. So I have just over an hour.
And hang out live. Good morning, everyone. Afternoon, whatever. This is episode 286 of the OotiniCast. For a second there, I was going to make some comment on your presidential election, but I don't think I will. So,
Man.
on behalf of the rest of the world, really? But okay. Does anyone else want to comment on?
No, I'm stressed
Not
out enough,
really.
thank you.
Yeah,
It's boring stuff to talk about.
It is, particularly from those of us who aren't experiencing it directly. So, I will just say at this point, I'm very, very glad I'm Australian, living in Australia. So, I'm sure it'll be fine. All right, let's see. We are not mucking about. Chill has a deadline, so if we seem to be cutting things short, that's why. In fact, I'll tell you about that. There isn't that much to cover, so I think we'll just plow through and get through in the normal time. Chill, let me just tweet, and then we will get going straight away. Yeah, Lachimba's the winner. I think everything else is sorted. Tweet, and I think I just saw Decion tweet something from Teeny Guild, so we'll retweet that too. Alright, you're both recording, and Tio's backwards. What do you mean I'm backwards? What does that mean?
I don't know, mirror image, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like a mirror.
You look fine to me.
I don't think it makes
On
much
stream
difference.
it's mirrored.
Ah, on the stream, okay.
Ah, okay. Oh, writing. Writing? What writing? I haven't got a lower third, have I? No.
Yeah, there's
It's okay. It doesn't matter. Oh, maybe... Yeah, okay.
like your t-shirt and the Sherlock Holmes book and stuff.
Oh, that's weird. Really?
Well, like I said, it looks normal to me, but I'm on the original Hangout. It's probably flipped on one of the streams or one of the ways that people get it.
Let us not get wrapped around that particular axle right now. And let's get on with it. Alright, Jill, let's make it happen.
Alright. First, let me 1 second.
And if anything goes wrong with the stream or whatever, that's my fault. Because Jill has to leave early, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
I'm
I'm leaving a little early. I have my son's concert to get to. All right, going in 5.
I raise my right hand. All right, go.
Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast, the podcast that will put a price on your head so big you won't be able to go near a civilized system. This is episode 286, being recorded on Thursday, November 10th, 2016. I'm your host, Chill, with our producer and co-host, Tio. Hi, Tio.
Hey, guys.
And we have a guest today, Aleva. Hi, Aleva. How have you been? What you been up to?
Hey, I've been good. I've just been busy with streaming. Just got done 20 minutes ago?
Nice.
So, it's been good.
That chair is standing you in good stead.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about in-game? What you been doing in-game?
So, on Swatter I haven't been doing that much, unfortunately. I'm kind of relaxing and building up to Kotet instead. But I did finish the Eternal Championship, tried to go for the no death. Then I died like a pleb on an easy one. Typical way.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'll have to work on that.
All right. And are you doing anything else for Dark versus Light before that goes away?
Well, I am done with Dark versus Light, but if anyone needs help to clear something like Flashpoint and stuff, I will be happy to help out. So
That's sweet. And what server do you mostly play on?
I'm on the Red Eclipse.
Excellent.
As is
All
everyone
right.
in Europe, right?
It's the most active one in Europe, yeah.
Right. There's the French and German ones, I'm sure, are fine for those, but
Indeed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Red Eclipse does seem to be the most populated.
Where is
Yeah.
All
that?
right. Yeah, and how's the streaming going?
The streaming is going fine. Been having some Mass Effect play here lately because of N7 Day, which I am super excited about as well. So,
Cool.
BioWare fan. So that has been very fun to do as well. But Thursday is always locked for the Old Republic, even though a new game came out that I'm gonna postponed
check
to
out.
tomorrow.
And which game would that be, Oliva?
Dishonored 2, of course.
Oh. I haven't been paying attention, clearly. Wow.
No, apparently not. It is the new stealth game that just came out.
How are the reviews so far? Because I know Dishonored is very well liked, generally.
Yeah, Dishonored, it has gotten good reviews so far, so I'm excited about it, and I hope it's going to live up to the expectations.
Excellent. All right.
Wonderful. All right, Tio, how about your week?
All right, so believe it or not, I did actually play the game this
I
week.
know, you were in the game the same time as me at one point.
We brought Chill Riff into the guild, yes. And what have I been doing? Well, leveling Tia, my Dark versus Light first ever female character.
Nice.
Enjoying
Makes
the
sense
voice
with
acting.
the
Yep,
feminine style ending to the name.
indeed.
Very
So,
nice.
Tia. And that's going well enough. Just been finished off Coruscant, playing through Taris. All a bit slow because I actually have been playing the on-rails space game
Hey.
quite a few times. I'm really enjoying it. So
Yeah. And good
it's
XP
been
too.
a while. It is good XP. And I've forgotten how pretty it is. It's,
Oh, yeah.
It really is nice.
It's one of the
So,
most beautiful things in the game.
yes.
It's because they can, they can really crank it up because it's just you. They don't have to worry about the multiplayer aspects or anything, and it's gorgeous.
It is. So I'm going to continue with that. Remember, my goal remains the eternal level, though time is quickly getting away from me, but we'll see how far I can get. I mean, it's not like it takes very long, really, but it does still take time. I do want to play through the flashpoints on solo, so I haven't even done any of them yet, so I'll start with the SLS on pub side and whatever else. But
you
yeah,
go.
so it's good being back in the game. And I also wanted to mention our guild ship, our Republic side guild ship, is gone. Just gone. This is apparently a bug that
It's
other people
gone.
have had a while ago. You look in the list of strongholds in the guild section, and nothing there. And that includes under the Guildmaster account, character. So I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Actually, sorry, I do know. Dredd put in a bug about it because he was the first one to notice, I think. Anyway, he contacted BioWare and they said, yeah, sorry about that. Wait until game update 5.0 and fingers crossed it might turn up
Oh
again.
boy!
Yeah, so...
Yikes!
Cal was asking me, why can't deck officers invade planets? Because I thought you set up the permission so they could, and yeah, I have, but no guild ship. Can't invade without a guild ship. So,
Yeah, that's no good. Oh man!
No.
Oh man!
Anyway,
how
if
are we
anyone
gonna
has
do that?
seen our guild ship, please let us know. If you've seen it orbiting some stray world or something, but otherwise, yes, we're just going to have to wait. Anyway, that's my week. Over to you, Chill.
All right. Well, let's first do a shout out to the chat room. And Einag is here. Ikiwochi Play is here as Black Gaming. Brigade 4407, Brobanelli. Darthus, Darksplat, Darth Rundlefly, Dekion, Demerzel 85, Farseer, Gahana, Japeo. Hawk is here. Hupra Eleva is here. Lalies, Lee Hambly, Naraga, official Meekout. I don't know where unofficial Meekout is, but official Meekout is here. Siskaika, Trig PT, Zamzam, and Zen0001 are all here. Hello, everyone. All right. Did a little bit of streaming earlier in the week on Chill Riff, which is my casual, fun, just goofing around Jedi leveling character. But mostly I got a new computer, which is great because I've been using the same computer since before launch and with nothing but one single upgrade of my video card at one point. Yeah, so, and yet I was streaming on it, so there you go. First day, which was Monday, it arrived. I actually had to chase down the UPS truck. It was kind of fun to do because my son gave me the heads up and also an email as well that the UPS had tried to deliver it just now. I knew that sometimes they go after they do our neighborhood, they go to this one mailboxes, etc. type store. I think it's called Postal Annex. And if they're there, sometimes that you can have them just delivered to you by hand right there. I went there. The UPS truck was there, but it turned out that for whatever reason, he was doing a different route, so he told me where the other truck was going to be, so I chased that one down just in time, right before that guy was like right at the end of his at the end of his shift, at the end of his whole route. So got the computer, got it home, loaded all the SWTOR and Audacity and all the stuff I need to do to do the podcast, for instance. Looks great. It runs everything at maximum, including shadows, cranked all the way to the right of that bar and everything. It's pegged at 60 frames per second. It's gorgeous.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Second day, got home, computer didn't turn on. Uh-oh, what the hell's going on? So it was, the fan would briefly turn on, it would make a couple of gonk noises, like a gonk droid, and then nothing. The screen wouldn't even turn on. So I called the tech support people, and then yesterday, Wednesday, got again with them because I had to be at the computer and, in order to actually do anything. They were nice enough to kind of stay a little late because they're back east. And it turns out one of the memory cards have a weird flutter to them. So as C3PO would say.
Term?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what C3PO said, so it must be technical.
Yeah,
it's developed a bit of a flutter.
Yeah.
So what happened was, but I'm actually doing this podcast on the new computer, because what we were able to do is we took out one of the 4 cards, and for whatever reason, that solved the issue. Now, of course, that means I'm also running on 3/4 of the memory I should have, so they're going to be sending me a couple of 16s that I'm going to be swapping out these 4 8s for, and then I'll mail the 4 8s back to them. I have no idea which one's wrong, or if it's just an incompatibility issue. So hopefully that will fix it. But
it can happen. So.
Yeah, for now, right? That's what they said. It's rare, but it just kind of happens, and they have no way to really tell when it's going to happen. It just sort of does occur.
When I built mine, I had the same issue with it, but I had to just take them all out, then put them in once and see, can it start? Wow. It started. Yeah. Then the next one, it started. And then when they were all clicked in, everything was fine, and I had no issue since then. It sometimes just flukes out.
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully the memory will work fine. So, but, as you can see, and even on the 3/4 memory, which is 24 gig, it still runs... it still runs at the same frame rate. It doesn't change the experience of playing SWTOR.
You could have probably got away with 16, but
yeah, exactly.
I'm running on 16.
I just what I like to do is, well, just like this with this last computer, we go a little higher end, and then that way I don't have to worry about having a computer, buying a new computer for
there
5, 6 years.
No harm in having that much RAM at all. No harm.
Exactly.
That's good.
Exactly. So, right. So other than that. Everything's going fine. I'll be able to start streaming again here in the next few days. I tried kind of last night, but it just took me a while to get on OBS and get it. I'm trying to make it look better, but it's tricky to get the settings just where I want them. So I wasn't able to stream last night. All right, so that'll bring us to the tip of the week. We've got 3 tips this week, and Teal, why don't you start us on the first one?
Our first tip is from our old friend Kuze, and he says, "This is a tip and a scam alert. When doing the old on-rail space missions, as I've been doing recently, the most helpful piece of gear you can equip your Starship with is the improved power conversion module. It has 2 functions that will add abilities to your action bar when playing through the space missions. You can only have one ability active at a time, but they can be easily toggled as needed throughout the mission."
Oh yes, very important to have on many levels. Mm-hmm.
So the first is blast cannons. Deal more damage, but your shield regeneration is cut in half, and shield regeneration is boosted, but the blast cannons deal very little damage. And as Kuzo says, you can easily flip between them. There are situations where you have to go defensive, so you go to shield generation, or if you're not really that worried about taking damage, you switch to blast cannons and do lots and lots of damage. It's great. Kuze continues, there is a level 25 version for 30 fleet comms and a level 50 version for 200,000 credits from a vendor on the fleet. Actually, thank you, Kuze. I'd forgotten to actually upgrade that, so I can scrap that, given my tier's 29 now. Anyway, this is where the scam part comes in. The level 50 improved power conversion module can be purchased off the ship upgrade vendor on the fleet for 200,000 credits and is bind on equip. This means that people can buy them for 200,000 and sell them on the GTN for around 450,000 credits. And yes, people actually buy them. Assume the 450 is arbitrary. They could really pick it for any price they wanted if people are willing to buy it.
Right.
Rather than just going to the vendor. Anyway, remember, it's okay to scam people in-game if you are peered right and sell them on your smuggler. Sure.
Right. Right. Well, this is just taking advantage of folks not knowing, that there's an easier, cheaper, better way. It does happen.
Yeah.
What will happen is, as more people sell it that way, then the price differential will narrow. So, all right. Second tip is from Sooty of the Red Eclipse. Stack up on some augmentation kits, MK9 for Kotet, as the MK10 will be expensive at launch, and the MK9 will be just as well to be getting on with. Love the show, and you guys are doing a great job. Thank you, Sooty.
That's true enough. I wonder how expensive they'll be. Depends. Things are kind of easy to make these days in terms of crafting.
We'll see.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, someone will have to push up to that level of crafting.
Right. It'll be interesting to see if, now that we're kind of far enough past, like, the whole... there was a few things in the game that were just creating lots and lots of mats in the game, that people could use and so on, and, like, people were also able to, like, use storage, the legacy storage to, find all these old mats and everything, and...
Right.
I think there's kind of a lot of backlog in the game because of that. That's maybe has been worked out a little bit. We'll see. It might be a little more expensive than it was last time around. Last time it didn't feel like the MK9s were all that expensive, and partly because you could upgrade the MKs to the MK9s for a while.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Our last tip is from La Jimba from the Harbinger, and he says, "SWTOR is a great way to get away from real life." But regardless, real life has a tendency to interrupt. If you have to attend to real life while playing SWTOR, you'll be logged out of your character for inactivity after a while. It'll even log you out of the server if you are inactive for a while after that. It can be a real first world problem to have to log back in. However, if you cannot handle watching that load screen again, there is a solution. Start a conversation. I've noticed if you are engaged in a conversation with an NPC, you will not be logged out.
Interesting.
Yes. Take that, real life.
Know that.
No, I didn't know that. Well, actually, I'm sure that's come up before, but I'd forgotten. How cool is that?
That's so cheeky.
Yes. And he had real life italicized, which is why I was pronouncing it a little strangely. But yes. Lachimba, thank you. That is a great tip.
All right, and by random allotment, the winner is Lachimbo. So congratulations, Lachimbo. You're the winner of a Tonfon or M83R droid pet code, courtesy of BioWare, and a new OotiniCast provided cartel market pack for the latest shipment. And if you'd like a chance to win the same, please send your tips to OotiniCast@gmail.com by next Wednesday. And that will bring us to the holo feed. Tio?
Let's start with class changes. They were going to do a live stream about it, then they sort of decided not to and put up some posts where they gave us a taste of what was to come for all of the classes.
Right.
So let's just walk through them one by one, starting with operatives and smugglers. Operatives and smugglers? Yeah, Imperial agents. Starting with Imperial agents and smugglers. And they say, along with the 5 new levels, and they say that every time, so I won't say it again, 5 new levels coming in Kotet, each of the classes are receiving changes including new abilities, new utilities, and more. And for this post, let's talk about the Imperial Agent and Smuggler. And this is a sampling of the changes to come. Taste, if you will. So, okay, so firstly, Operative. And in each case, I picked either Republic or the Empire version because obviously the mirror classes remain exact mirrors. So changes in one will be reflected in the other. So operatives will notice that some cunning new tricks have been added to the repertoire with Knights of the Eternal Throne. When used under the right circumstances, these new skills and abilities can certainly give the operative a tactical advantage and make them a dangerous opponent on the battlefield. Cunning. That's almost a callback to when cunning was actually...
a thing,
the stat rather than it all being the win stat. mastery. So what they're doing is they're adding a new ability for operatives, Toxic Haze. Execute your tactical advantage, that's the stacking buff you can build, to drop a canister at your feet which will do persistent AoE damage for 6 seconds. And if you're in the medicine discipline, that is a healer, you'll be able to use that from 30 meters away as opposed to at your feet. So operatives are getting another AoE, which is kind of cool.
That is cool, because they're they're pretty single target focused for the most part.
Yeah.
Welcome, Burke Dave. First time viewer.
Cool.
And they've also taken away, they have removed Take Cover, Crouch and Snipe, because those are now on the Sniper exclusively.
Interesting.
So
I think it's fair enough.
It is. Did they mention that they're going to let you choose your advanced class at go? Because that's the implication of that. How can they sort of make it Sniper exclusive, or do they take them away? You know, at the moment you level to
they're probably not. I guess they're right. I would guess you don't get them as an operative at all. You would only get them once you become a sniper.
So you got to decide to be an operative or a...
That's what I think. Yeah, I haven't heard about them starting advanced classes any earlier.
Well, we don't know for sure, but okay.
Yeah.
Now they also in each of these mentioned the legendary utilities.
Although Darksplat is saying yes at the start, so maybe they are. I don't know.
There you go. So now instead of leveling to level 10 and having to choose which advanced class you're going to be, you choose your advanced class at character creation.
Right from the beginning. That's cool.
So what happens if you've got a level 8 smuggler? And you haven't chosen.
And then you log into him, right? You just log into him. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Or some people will anyway.
Maybe it'll. I can imagine it. Maybe forces you to choose right away. I don't know.
All right, I might just pick some of these utilities. Blow for blow, evasion grants both blow for blow, reflecting 150% of single target tech and force damage back at the attacker while evasion is active. The damage is taken and reflected, but not absorbed.
Right, so it's not a shield.
No.
Right, it's not a shield, but it's doing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Now, that's a PvP ability if ever I saw one.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Now, let's talk about the Sniper. They get a new ability called Maim, which replaces Debilitate. Basically, it's a stun that works at 10 meters. Currently, Debilitate, and the Gunslinger equivalent, works at 4 meters. So they've got a slightly longer range stun. Of course, it's not 30 meters, which ideally your ability should be, but that's not too bad. And they've removed Shiv and Overload Shot, because those are basically melee abilities, and so it didn't really make sense to have on the Sniper. And they also got some new legendary utilities.
I guess I have one other question about blow for blow, because it's reflecting the damage that you're taking. It's not shielding it or anything, but it's during evasion. In evasion, does evasion not work on tech and force damage? I mean, if you're evading it, then how are you reflecting it and and also taking it?
Don't know.
Does it not work on those kinds of damage? I can't remember exactly which kind of damage evasion works on at the moment.
Actually sounds familiar. That it does not work on. It only works on white damage.
Right. Which was why evasion was kind of like a little weak as a class defense.
Cool. So now, if you take that,
so now at least does something with everything.
Yes. Darksplat says all attacks, 200%. All right, maybe if that proves not to be the case, I'll just cut it out. I will check.
Okay.
After we're done recording. Just having a quick look at their utilities. Nothing really worth mentioning there. Yeah. Tactical Retreat, Covered Escape, heals you for 10% of your maximum health, and the duration of evasion is increased by 2 seconds. Oh yeah, cool. Alright, let's move on to the Sith Warrior and Jedi Knight.
Okay.
Firstly, Blade Dance. Which was recently renamed, has been renamed again to Blade Barrage, and it's now an instant. Finally,
Very
Jedi
cool.
Knight, or Knights and Marauders no longer have abilities which are channeled. So,
Right.
it was a however many second channel to actually execute it.
Yeah.
Now it's all instant, which means all their melee abilities are instant. The way it probably should have been at the start. Remember, they did some
Yeah.
crazy things about having the ability to root someone in place so you could actually do your long channel on them. Don't
Right.
need it anymore. Just boom.
I wonder if,
done.
I wonder if it will do damage over time in some way, or if it now just becomes a one-time instant damage.
Because then it has to be a high damage at once.
Indeed. Or a dot.
Yeah.
Damage burst and then dot. Or something like that. Let's see. Guard no longer has any form restricting its use, but didn't they mention they're not doing forms or stances anymore? So
Yeah, they're going to
basically
be passive.
Yeah, so that's the Guardians, specifically. Guardians can just guard, regardless of
Interesting.
whether they're in the tank discipline or not.
Right. Which actually is different because, I mean, they were making, I mean, currently in the game you have to be in the correct stance,
Yes.
which even if you're in a different
Well-
tree, yes, you can choose the stance, but you kind of, it completely wrecks your ability to do damage.
Yeah, but that's it. This will be bound to if you are a guardian tank that you can guard, because they said that it would not be something you could switch between, for example, in a PvP match.
Right.
So you cannot just switch your guard all of a sudden and then have
Oh,
a
I
guard
see.
ability. You actually have to switch out your entire tree to become a DPS.
Yeah, that would
Then
make
you
sense.
can't use it, or switch your entire tree to become a tank.
Okay.
Then you can use it.
Okay, so
Right.
Guard really is limited to the tanking discipline, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
that's
okay.
what it's used for.
Right, okay. Also, Whirling Blade is a new ability for the Vigilance, which is the DPS discipline. Replaces Dispatch, which is the execute ability, 30%. Only works on if the target is under 30% and has a 10-meter range. And this one, Whirling Blade, has 30-meter range, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Thwart. After using Guardian Leap, which is awesome, your next melee ability deals 20% additional damage. That's another PvP one, I suspect.
That's a nice
So a
one.
guardian leap and then use a blade barrage. Could be
Yeah,
deadly.
pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Unyielding Justice, another legendary utility, increases the range of Blade Storm to 30 meters, which is currently 10 meters, but Blade Storm deals reduced damage beyond 10 meters.
Ah,
That's okay. But having a 30-meter ability like that is kind of useful. Additionally, Force Push deals 20% more damage and grants Unyielding Justice, allowing your next Blade Storm to deal full damage regardless of the distance from the target. Presumably
nice.
still within 30 meters, but yeah, okay.
That's
So
kind of
push
cool.
them away and then blast them. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I do enjoy playing my Guardian. All right, on the Sentinel, they just mentioned the Blade Dance, Blade Barrage thing, which is now an instant, of course. And Lance, a new ability for the combat discipline, because they're all DPS disciplines on the Sent. High damage ability that hinders the movement of your enemy and reduces their armor.
Another hindrance, huh, in the game.
Lance. Intercessor. Force Sleep grants Intercessor, allowing you to activate Force Sleep a second time. Lasts up to 7.5 seconds and is removed as Force Sleep is reused. Not utilized by the end of its duration. Force Sleep is placed on us, and blah blah blah. So yeah, so basically lets you, if you can Force Sleep, and then Force Sleep again within 7.5 seconds.
Wow, that's going to be good in Hutball.
Yeah. So, yeah, these are like fun utilities that they're adding. Of course, you do still have to choose. They haven't mentioned giving you an extra point to choose an additional ability, I don't think. Maybe they will when we hit level 70. Alright, let's move on to the Sith Inquisitor and the Jedi Consular. Sorks. Oh, now this is
That's my
a
class.
little tragic. Yes. Phase Walk has been removed from the base class and is now Sork exclusive. In other words, Sorks can now phase walk, but assassins can't. Didn't it start off to be it was assassins
Started off
only?
to be the up. Yeah, because
Then it was both,
Yeah,
and now it's
it was on my shadow. Yeah, it was on my shadow tank
Yeah.
back in the day. And now it's not on the tank at all. It wouldn't be on that character at all. That's crazy.
I guess if they want a melee class, they want you to stay in melee and not have an easy out like that. Or something.
Possibly.
Something like that. Yeah, I guess it's a way for squishies to escape, ranged squishies to escape.
Yeah. Crushing Darkness is now a Sork exclusive. That's that long cast dot, DOT, which kind of makes sense because when you're doing melee, you're just having to make cast that. My tier is actually a shadow, so I've been playing a lot of this stuff recently. Force Lightning is now Sork exclusive. Sort of, again, makes sense because it's only 10-meter range on a assassin anyway. Yeah. And Thrash is now an assassin exclusive. Yahoo! Because Sorks don't really need melee.
Yeah,
comes down to
I don't even have that in any keybinds anyway.
Right, exactly. It's completely useless. So, yeah, the sorcerers are getting a lot, and the assassins, not really so much. And the Force Lightning, that's the channeled one, which you actually did use on the tanking spec. I mean, you get like this buff, and then you use it on the tanking spec, but it's not going to be there anymore. So presumably they're going to
simplify it somehow,
doing some other stuff. Yeah.
Let's see. Unnatural Vigor is a utility. Unnatural Preservation increases damage reduction by 15% for 6 seconds. Reduces cooldown of Unnatural Preservation by 5 seconds, so they are increasing a bit. An extra one for survivability on the Sork. Always a bit of an issue in PvP. Let's see. Alright, let's talk about Assassin. You get Thrash at level 1. Yippee. Lightning Charge is now a passive buff because they don't have stances anymore. Guard is available at level 16 and no longer requires Dark Charge, and which has been removed completely. It's a Discipline passive in Darkness. Phase Walk is gone, as mentioned earlier. Reaping Strike, new ability for the Deception Discipline, which is another with the DPS discipline. High damage, single target skill on 15-second cooldown that is usable from stealth or within 15 seconds of landing a critical hit. So you land, so either come out of stealth and do it, or crit, and then within 15 seconds you're able to use the ability.
Okay, so so they make it a little more potent because you can only use it at certain times.
Yeah, I suspect assassins will be stacking crit, perhaps, depending on just how much damage that does.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Interesting, yet another tanking one where it doesn't really say that it's that the guarding is specific to the tanking class.
No.
It just says it's part of the assassin. It doesn't say it's part of the tanking. Yeah, it doesn't say on this one either that the tanking is just for, or the guard is just for tanks. Interesting.
All right. Now, one of their utilities is Renewing Darkness. When entering stealth with Force Cloak, you generate a stack of Renewing Darkness and heal 4% of your max health every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. Oh, cool. And the stacks last for 6 seconds. When stealth is broken, each stack of Renewing Darkness heals you for 4% of your health. Wow, that's kind of useful.
Not bad.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad at all.
So so you're gaining a lot of health, and then when the stealth is broken, you gain even more health. So that's really good.
Suck in PvP.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be a major. It's gonna be like when you fight like a juggernaut, and they're healing themselves crazy amounts. This is gonna be similar, I would think, based on Force Cloak though. So it's only when they're trying to escape and heal back up.
Now, Rub, I don't know if that's our Rub, mentioned that crit is already the main stat for Deception, so there you go. That makes sense then. And our friend Greg, McGregor, said, are assassins/shadows overrepresented in PvP? Why take away a key ability? Obviously referring to Phase Walk. Good question. As speculated, maybe they want your in-your-face melee types to remain in your face. Don't know. Maybe it was being abused somehow.
I do know that with my roommate, he plays assassin in PvP, and sometimes he's a little bit cheeky with he sees Sage on the opposite team putting down a phase walk somewhere, then he puts a phase walk right next to it. So when he tries to leave, then he just follows. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, okay. Alright, let's talk about bounty hunters and troopers. So, starting with Vanguards, they wanted to push the Vanguard fantasy in a way that really made it feel unique and different from the Commando. So here's some of the changes that they've made. Alright, Artillery Blitz, Vanguards only, replaces Mortar Volley, which is now Commando only. Ion Wave, Vanguard exclusive, replaces Pulse Cannon, which has been removed from the game. And Flak Shell, again Vanguards only, replaces Sticky Grenade, which is exclusive for Commandos. So anyway, they just sort of separated the abilities so they don't share as many.
And yet another channel goes bye-bye. Because this is... Pulse Cannon is the same as Flamethrower. It's the other channel. It's the channeled ability. Just like they got rid of Force Lightning on the one class, and then... yeah.
And then Sticky Grenade being a kind of... Well, it doesn't really make sense, does it?
Well, the Powertex version, Deadly Onslaught, to the Vanguard's artillery Blitz, we actually saw on the live stream. So you got a peek of how it actually looks now instead. Which was pretty cool.
Yes. Alright, what else I got? Alright, let's talk about the Commando. One of the things that have been long requested by players is that Commandos should have a better way to survive attacks from their enemies. So, they're giving you several new toys to keep you alive. And also polishing the class a bit to differentiate it from the Vanguard. So, some of the changes. Echoing Deterrence, new ability exclusive to Commandos, which absorbs all single target damage, reflects 50% of it, and heals you for 5% of your health each time an attack is absorbed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So if you're in an especially messy PvP match where they won't even be able to tell you have that ability on potentially, you can really get a lot of abilities reflected and healing you. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, you probably have to keep your eye out for the buff, or there's probably
they
some
say
visual
Commandos and Mercs are kind of weak in PvP, so this would really buff it.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. So one of their utilities is one-man army. Hindering a target with Electronet grants one-man army. Increasing your alacrity by 15% for 9 seconds. Additionally, activating Supercharged Cell reduces the cooldown of Adrenaline Rush by 5 seconds. Okay, sure. Actually, I'll talk about this one instead. Trauma Stabilizers is utility. While Reactive Shield is active, you generate a stack of Trauma Stabilizers each time you receive direct damage. Stacks up to 15 times, and when Reactive Shield expires, each stack that you've built up instantly heals you for 5% of your maximum health. 15 times, so up to 15...
So
that's a lot of healing.
75% of your health.
That is kind of ridiculous, yes.
So basically, if they keep banging on you, it's just going to help you even more. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so as Leva mentioned, they're going to be fairly nasty in PvP going forward, or at least survivable.
Yeah. Good luck being one of the, like the toxin shooter, where you have 10 ticks within 2 seconds, and this guy clicks it on right then. All of a sudden you're helping him heal 50% of his health.
Wow. Alright, so those are the class changes. Obviously we will know a lot more when they actually publish the patch notes for Game Update 5.0. Obviously coming on 28 November for everybody. So, yeah, how cool is that? All kinds of stuff happening, and they are changing things up. With 4.0, they pretty much left things more or less the same. Didn't really change anything that much. This time, geez, was it? Sorry.
29th.
29th of November.
Yeah, that's early access.
Thank you.
December 2nd for everyone else.
Gotcha. All right, I will cut and paste that, and I'll sound smart. Maybe. Alright, so let's quickly talk about the live stream that was held a few hours before we recorded. This was the special live stream because they had some special guests, which was Chuck and Brian from the Bad Feeling podcast in the studio because those guys are local to Aston. And they played through the Hoth Uprising. The other two players in the group, because it's a four-man, were Eric Musco and Tate Watson. And apparently Chris Schmidt was explaining everything as they went. Chris is a designer. You may have remember his name having come up previously.
Yes.
Now, I didn't watch it. Oliva did. Did you watch it, Joel?
No, I was still at work. So, if it's a more audio live stream, I can listen in, but I can't watch it.
Right. So, however, we do have Dolphy's notes, and she said as follows. The veteran mode is balanced for gear with augments, has lots of unavoidable damage and avoidable damage that can potentially one-shot you. So scaled like difficult mode, hard flashpoints. Now, previously they said it would be like veteran mode, not master, veteran, was like hard mode Lost Island, though from Oliva, what you were telling me earlier, didn't really seem that difficult.
No, I don't know these guys. I don't know how well they are at this game, but they flew through it with minimal issues, even on veteran. To be fair, Eric Moscow and Tate died like plebs, but it didn't seem like really difficult. And I heard from several as well that they were a little bit worried that this was going to be still too easy.
Now, it's entirely possible that they were doing some dev magic to make it a bit easier than it would have been otherwise, but maybe not.
We saw on stream that Eric was trying to cheat with some dev magic, so that's possible.
And it's also possible they haven't done their final balancing pass, so it may be just easier than they intend, but if that's actually what they intend for veteran, that is not hard mode Lost Island. Because that should have given them a lot more trouble if that was the first time they've seen it.
It's true that they talked about they had better gear than a normal... Like, I have 224 at the moment, which is the highest gear you can get at the moment.
Nightmare.
They're talking about them having better gear, but it was a little bit confusing because first it said 240, then they said 224. So where it was, I'm not 100% sure, but it could look like that they were in the best gear of 240.
Right.
Because it looked so easy for them.
Okay. 242 is what the guys in chat are saying, so it looks like you're right. They were basically over geared. That would explain. Right. Ready for master, basically. If the gear's that good.
Yeah, they would be ready for master. It was overpowered for veteran.
Now, Dolphy says it's balanced for rating 240 plus purple gear. And balance for people with rating 220/224s with current gear. Just trying to parse that. Purple gear.
So, they are saying that the gear you would have at level 75... level 70 would be equal to what I have now, 220/224.
At
would
65.
Be 240.
Right.
242.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Alright, going to need a mix of mid and end game gear. Goal is that you won't be able to walk into veteran on day one and succeed. Some people will anyway, because they're that good.
They will try.
But the rest of us normals will just have to struggle on and get better gear before we can try veteran.
Cool.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a challenge.
Yeah, okay, so maybe it is balanced just fine. It's just if you're in 242 max possible in the game.
Yeah. I hope that this is going to be a challenge. It's just, I'm sorry, but it's too easy.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
The goal is about 15 to 30 minutes per uprising. I think they've said that previously. I thought they said 15 to 20 minutes, which is probably the way you would run through it if you are familiar with it and have the appropriate gear. Just blow through it. Veteran mode has no extra mechanics compared to story. It's just more damage output and health on the mobs. That's a bit disappointing. I mean, in story and hard mode at the moment, there's often extra mechanics in the flashpoints.
Well, in a way, I can understand because it was really chaotic was like enemies everywhere. It was a lot of AoE damage everywhere. So I can kind of understand. It was chaotic. It was just enemies upon enemies upon enemies that will keep spawning until you have it all killed.
Right. So...
And then you move on to the next part where, again, a lot of enemies are going to spawn. So it just feels chaotic from what I could see, at least.
They may not all be like that. They may be just that uprising, or maybe they're all that style. Maybe.
I kind of hope that it's different from each uprising, because otherwise it's just going to feel like a grind.
Just like the Star Fortress I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the same thing, just 6 times. There's no solo mode right now, but you can do it with less than 4 players and have companions join you. So they did say they're not going to make it solo because it's all about the group players. Though right now, what does that mean? There is going to be a solo mode later. However, and presumably you could solo it if you were geared well enough and are just excellent. But yeah, 2 players with 2 companions. But they did say you get a command point bonus if you have a full group of real players, as opposed to a companion in the mix.
Very good. Okay.
Should be one of the most efficient ways to get command XP. And currently you don't get a token every time you run an operation, so you shouldn't expect a set bonus gear to drop every command crate. You'll still get 1 gear per crate, gear item per crate, just it may not have the set bonus.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Now, the combat training area on the fleet has been converted to an area with uprising terminals, so that's where you're going to find them, though presumably there is another way of getting into them without having to use that.
Yeah.
Grid Finder, obviously, which you can do from anywhere, and there'll also be terminals there for heroics. So maybe you have to pick up the missions, the weekly or the daily, for the uprisings.
Yeah, it was like a war table in the PvP area, so you basically can just take the walk around and pick up.
And they are working on something new for Life Day. No details yet. Maybe we will finally see that red nose torn. Let's keep our fingers crossed for that. Alright, and final bit of news. I did just want to mention the quarterly report, the Form 10Q, something you Americans apparently do. And this is where the details follow the earnings call that we talked about last week. Now, the only mention of Star Wars The Old Republic was the fact that it's a 1%... There was a 1% or $1 million decrease in subscription net revenue, primarily due to Star Wars The Old Republic. And that is the only mention of Star Wars The Old Republic. So that doesn't mean Star Wars SWTOR lost 1%. That means that the overall figure of subscription numbers are down because of lost revenue from Star Wars The Old Republic, and it was actually boosted by other things like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, a mobile game, etc. So what does that mean? It means we're near the end of an X-Pack with a new one coming, and this is the time that subs will drop. So, and the previous quarter anyway. So it doesn't actually mean anything at all.
Right. That makes sense. This was the end of... We are at the end of the chapters coming out and so on.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, because this is quarterly, this is not annual.
Exactly. So otherwise, EA seems to be doing okay. Though their share price has taken a battering the last few days, but then lots of people have taken a battering. Given circumstances. And anyway. Alright, let's talk community. Been a while. Firstly, our best wishes to our friend Fee.
Yes.
Deck officer in our Ootini guilds, who is on her way to sit her final exam and to become a doctor of chiropractic. So congratulations, maybe a bit early, but good luck, Fee, and congratulations on becoming a doctor.
Yeah, she's been working on it a long time.
Very hard, so a well-earned reward and now a career ahead of you of helping people. And Hawk, who has been a guest on the show and probably be a guest again in the future. He has started streaming on a regular basis. You can find him on Twitch. Twitch username is Hawk, that's HAWKE 53051, 53051. I'll include all these links in the show notes. You know, also his Discord link and his Twitter handle, and as when he was on the show, he talked about his 2 Facebook groups, SWTOR PC and SWTOR Gamers Den, both very popular with SWTOR players. and he is streaming pretty much 6 days a week, starting on the 7th of November, which is
That was Monday.
which is now, or last week. He is going now, and he is streaming Sunday through to Thursday, and Saturday all the way through to Thursday, and having Friday off, basically every evening. So you can see him playing multiple games, but mainly Star Wars: The Old Republic. So nice work, mate, and good luck with that. We have another SWTOR influencer in the making, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I would say yes, definitely.
Yes. All right, and that's the news.
All right, that'll bring us to the Academy, and this week, SWTORista will tell us about cartel market items. Thank you, SWTORista, and that will bring us to the Force Feedback, where we read out your tweets and emails. Alex writes in, just tanked for the first time ever in SWTOR. Surprised by how fun it was, even if I did die a bit.
It is fun. I find it stressful myself, but it is also, you get to lead and set the pace, and I kind of like that too.
True.
So, yes, well done, mate.
Yes. It's amazing how many little tricks you can do when you're tanking to sort of offset threat and, defend yourself and taunt back and all that good stuff.
And you feel so invulnerable because the hero's looking after you, and you've got all these defensive abilities. It's kind of cool.
It's true. Cal wrote in, finally got all my Conquest events done. Now I have to find something else to do. Wow, okay, there you go. All the Conquest events
Busy
done.
boy. Very nice, Cal.
And let's see. Anuri writes, so, as a few may have noticed, I'm one of those weird ones who play a few too many Star Wars games, one of which is Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes mobile app. The Utini Guild only has a few members in it, no problem there. Just curious how many here play the game, but are unaffiliated guild-wise. I created a second account, first to see if all the stuff I've learned in the last 11 months help, and second to get an account in the guild.
Now, I still haven't played that. I've heard really good things about it. It's supposed to be quite excellent. Fun gameplay, and you can pretty much get away without spending any money at all.
Yeah.
Which doesn't say much about their business model, but sure. I think they make money anyway for the impatient or time poor.
Exactly. I've played it off and on, and it's it's a solid game.
Okay.
It's fun.
There will always be pay to win people, so
Yes, it will.
so they probably will manage.
Oh, something I wanted to mention in passing, conversation came up on Twitter involving our friend Jeremy, Darksplat, Warchild, and about whether the change to SWTOR in that you can only get endgame gear at level 70 if you subscribe. People are calling that pay to win, and just saying that definition wise that's incorrect. Pay to win is actually if you just pay money and get power. There has to be, unlike actually subscribing, doing work, playing the game and just earning gear the same old way, and then you actually get the power.
Right.
There
this
is the whole you still have to play. That's all.
Yeah.
Right. This is more
not pay to
content
win.
gating. Yeah, this is more of
Yes.
a gate. So,
What you can say is not free to play at endgame. You can pretty much say that
this
pretty
is
comprehensively.
Pretty much, yeah. All right. And Jeremiah, who you were just referring to, said, lol, TK was tank and heals was heals.
Yeah, we thought he meant TK Sork or something, so sorry about that. Or TK
Telekinetic
Sage. Yeah.
Sage, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Oops.
Ouch. Let's see. And I actually
Skip
made the
that, and
comment.
we'll talk about it more next week, I think.
Okay, fine. Charel writes, hello there, OotiniCast. I must express my disappointment at the largely one-sided argument in favor of the voice actors in their strike against video game publishers presented in episode 285. As Miss Christina is a voice actor, I can understand her bias, but she certainly did not accurately represent the opposing side's positions. And while OotiniCast does not make claims about being fair and balanced, like the highly suspect Fox News organization, I still favor your podcast's typically moderate approach to the issues it presents. The involved parties are each looking out for their best interests, and a strike is what happens when neither side in a business-labor dispute can come to an agreement. As I'm sure OotiniCast members are aware, it's something that happens fairly often in the business world. I work in a company that provides services to other businesses, and we've had our share of clients take their business elsewhere, sometimes resulting in layoffs due to the loss of revenue. We don't head over to the departing clients' facilities with picket signs and protest. The only issue that I sympathize with the voice actors on is the vocal strain concern. Where compensation is the issue, it's simply a game of chicken between the union and the game publishers. May the best side win. As far as the interests of video game consumers such as myself goes, the impasse will likely result in a negative outcome when one side does prevail. We'll either get poorly voice-acted video games or an increase in the average purchase price for games. That being the case, why should I support one side over the other?
Well, do you really think... Well, firstly, they would obviously pass that price, the cost of whatever they're handing out to the voice actors, on to consumers, if it actually kind of registered, but we're talking every 2 million copies, they pay a recording session fee. That doesn't
Of a
seem
few
like very
$100s,
much.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I don't know. I don't think it'll make any difference to the price of games, to be honest,
Right.
if it goes that way. As far as us being unfair and citing too much for the voice actors, I suppose that's only natural. There's certainly, I feel, a kind of anti-big business, even though I work for a big business, kind of, that's just the way I am, personality-wise. So it just seems that you got the big guys with all the money, and you got the voice actors who are just like any other kind of actors who do get residuals. Why are voice actors being singled out?
Right. I tend to be
It's
more
just not fair.
pro-business, but in this case, we're talking about, folks who are working on a contract that's, hasn't been updated for, 20 years, and the market, and we're talking about a technology, area of the industry where things are changing all the time, so things really need to get updated, and it's a little crazy that and basically, in this case, the game designer companies really are just sort of holding back because they'd rather pay less, and they really don't want to upgrade in any way. So there you go.
You can see the difficult situation in this is that that so many people want to be a voice actor, me included, would love to be a voice actor.
Absolutely.
So you just know that there are going to be people who would do it for free just to be able to get the option.
Yeah.
That will make it difficult for the actual voice actors who's making a career of it, because not everyone is as big as Jennifer Hill and can say, I do not want to do this. Some has
Right.
to work harder.
Yeah, exactly. It's
So
true.
they need to
Anytime
be treated fair.
Yeah, and anytime you have that sort of situation, it does drive down the price. It was just like during the episode when we were saying how software engineers, working in the video game industry, get paid a lot less because so many people just love to work on games.
Yeah,
Supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
exactly.
All right.
Chill. How are you going for time? You got 10
I
minutes.
have about 10 minutes, and then I'll have to save it and be gone within the
All
next 5.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And Bill Lentz, hey, Bill's writes, hi guys, as far as opening packs versus selling them unopened, it's a very complicated topic. Rule number 1 is that it all depends on the cost of the crate or pack and just how many you're opening. Prior to the 4.0 changes, it was usually much better to open them, but in my experience it was only better if you opened at least 15 to 20 packs. I only had 1 or 2 hypercrates that I actually lost credits on by opening them. I never opened individual packs. It was hypercrates or nothing, in order to spread out the risk of getting a bad pack. RNG will have a much larger negative effect the fewer packs you open. With 4.0, it was usually better to open all hypercrates and sell the grand chance cubes unopened. Now it can vary, but it is usually slightly better to open them than to sell them unopened, but it can be a lot more work to do so. The thing to remember is that the more you open, the more GTN listings you have to make. That's a fair point. At one point, I was managing over 1,000 listings a day, which left me no time to actually play the game. So there is a trade-off of time and effort put into managing the GTN sales versus the credits earned. There are other choices, though. It may be best to break the hypercrates into individual packs and sell the unopened packs. No matter what strategy, it is always better to hold them and sell them a month or 2 after they are embargoed. This used to be a much better proposition when they had reputations items in them and before Grand Chance Cubes turned the entire market on its ear. I'm not a fan, but that's a story for another day. Speaking of stories for another day, remember when we relied on RNG for cartel packs and vanity items and not best in slot gear? Hashtag salty.
It's RNG for everything.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
wise advice from Bill. That all makes sense. His analysis. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. And Rub is saying something in chat that people are agreeing with. I'm damn sure when a game sells a lot, the game company big bosses get a big bonus, so it's only fair to share the love to those who put the work in for making it great.
We are only talking the leads.
Agreed.
That's all. Like it's a lot of people.
Yep. All right. And so those are all interesting points there that Bill makes on selling versus opening. Anything else you want to say about that, Tia, before we move on? Okay.
No.
Kuze writes, "Hello, OotiniCast. I want to thank Chill for reminding me of the old space missions. I used to run those missions a lot back in the day when it was still cool." Hey, they're still cool. They're just not really run a lot. I haven't really given them any thought since BioWare stopped supporting it. This doesn't mean they're worthless. On the contrary, they're the best and fastest way I've found to level a character from 55 to 65 and maybe earlier. And an example of this was my mercenary. I wanted to level my merc that I've had sitting at level 55 since the 12 times XP event before Kotvi for our ops group in 5.0. And yes, I wanted to do this before BioWare announced that they will be gods in 5.0. So here's what I did. I equipped my character with 7 pieces of the Dark vs. Light bonus XP gear, upgraded my ship components via my Cybertech, the spaceship vendor on fleet, and the GTN, remembering the tip of the week, applied a general XP boost, played less than 20 space missions, about an hour and a half worth of playtime, and achieved level 65. This could almost be a tip of the week in itself. With the XP bonuses, each base mission quest was turning in between 220 to 320,000 experience. There are missions that are called Operation Insert Your Name Here. What these are is a combination of 2 standard space mission quests. If done correctly, you can complete 3 quests by only doing 2 space missions. This will grant you around 800,000 experience and above if the bonus objectives are completed in each mission. I did spread my playtime out over 2 days to let the daily quest reset. There's a lot of helpful information on the internet, even though it's outdated, that can fill in the details. There are videos on YouTube for every mission that are still relevant since the actual maps and missions were never changed. So if you want to gain 10 levels in about an hour and a half, go out and shoot shit up with your spaceship.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. That's how to do it. Maybe I should do that as well.
It is a fast way to do it. I just can't stream that because it's not enough time on the stream.
All right, Chill.
Right.
I think you got time for the outro, and then we'll call it good.
And that's
Remember,
actually perfect.
Chill is time limited.
I am time limited, so yeah, but we'll be back to normal next week.
Gotcha.
All right. Was there anything else we wanted to talk about real quick before we head out?
We could talk about President-elect Trump.
No, maybe not. So let's go. So that's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Harbinger server, or in our Guild on the Empire side, do a /c join Utini to join the Utini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to OotiniCast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @OotiniCast. You can find contact details for all of us on our website, OotiniCast.com, which includes how to subscribe to us using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Go to OotiniCast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. And thank you to the chat room, and thank you to Aleva.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was great. And we'll see you next week.
All right, guys, keep recording, please. Everyone else, thank you for watching, and apologies for the short show because, well, sometimes real life does actually require us to keep things short. Next week, I don't know what we're doing, and I'm sure I'll work it out. So, anyway, have a great week, guys. May the Force be with you and/or serve you well. See ya.
Yeah. Is it possible